Hi everybody, welcome back to another Stoneforge gaming video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Siege Tower from the, I believe it was, it's called the Mighty Fortress box set that they did back in the day, Games Workshop. This was simply a piece that we had. We've painted up the fortress years and years ago. Now I'm just kind of getting around to finishing up some of the different accessory pieces, things like that, and this was one of them. It's the Siege Tower. Now there's a lot of smaller details on here that are pretty cool. I really like the texture of all the wood and everything. You can see all the sort of latticed wood pieces there and all of the tiny little rivets. These wheels, everything here I have glued together so that it doesn't actually functionally move, kind of like a toy. I don't really care for my miniatures acting like toys with all the moving parts and all that jazz. So you can see that I've glued in, those of you who are familiar with this, I've glued in all the pieces. I've basically base coated the whole thing brown, did some washes, did some different color washes on the wood, and then I actually did some different colored washes on the hides, and then began dry brushing up. Now, what I actually did for the dry brushing on everything was I actually dry brushed more along the edges as I went up in highlights. So you can see here on the rims of everything are brighter because I only hit those with my highlights selectively, so that when you dry brush up, you kind of get that sort of an accent where the sun would actually be coming and hitting down. And again, it's a stylistic choice, but I like the way it turned out. All the little tiny rivets, really that's just it's a very tedious thing because you got to go in each little tiny rivet, and there's a million little pieces. Now for the hides, I had thought about making each one of them look different and doing different washes and different dry brushes on everything, which you could do, but I decided against it. In the long run, it was actually just going to make it way too time intensive for a single piece, and so I decided against it and basically just went with the idea of just washing it all the same, and then kind of just picking out all the different tones there. And really, I think in the end it creates this nice sort of a three-colored effect, because you have the effect of the wood and all of its highlights, and then you have the hides and all of their highlights, and then you have the different metallics and their highlights. And actually for the metallics, I did something very simple, because there's a lot of little pieces on here. What I decided to do was I did a metallic wash on here, and then I decided to basically just leave it at that. So like on all the different metallic pieces, I might have done another like Devlin mud sort of wash on there as well. But in general, I picked out all of the little rivets, and then I did my my metallic wash, and then washed that with Devlin mud or Reikland Fleshade. I can't remember, one of those brown sort of washes that in the long run, I think it'll kind of give it that sort of a good look. And really, what I was going for was that sort of dirty Lord of the Rings style, low fantasy siege tower that really made it just seem like a realistic piece that you would find in any sort of a fantasy war. I hope you all have enjoyed this look at this siege tower, and I will see you in the next Stoneforge gaming video.